I guess I see two main archetypes internationally for Sauvignon Blanc in terms of style, and that would be, the historic home in the Loire Valley, the appellations of Sancerre and Puy-Fumé, and then the new kids on the block who took ownership of the varietal, and that's obviously New Zealand, in particular Marlborough. And so those two style archetypes, the French one, very austere, very minimalist, mineral driven, maybe a little bit of citrus, and then the New Zealand, ebullient, very expressive, pungent, over the top, almost even obnoxious vegetal and gooseberry and all those wild flavors that we associate with New Zealand. Niagara lands somewhere in between those two, probably a little bit closer to Sancerre. Usually we don't get the big exuberant intensity of New Zealand, but I don't really see that as a bad thing, because I think those wines are almost too much for some people. The British wine writer Hugh Johnson described the style as pungent, at times even nauseating, with regards to New Zealand. And my own tastes go back towards the more austere, minimalist French style. The predominant fruit flavor that seems to express itself in the wines off Niagara Vineyards seems to be grapefruit and grapefruit peel and grapefruit pith. So if I had to, there was one thing that I'd attach to Niagara Sauvignon Blanc, it would be that. The style is always going to flip a little bit one way or the other depending on the vintage we get. Some years it'll be a little bit more into the greener vegetal, and some years it'll be a little bit more out into the tropical, mango, passion fruit, guava spectrum. But that is also dependent really on picking date, and that's the main thing about Sauvignon Blanc and Niagara. You can make very different styles of wine depending on when you pick it. We'll typically have, off our own estate vineyard, we picked as early as September 4th and as late as September 22nd, and we pick off flavor. That's the decision maker for harvest. We don't really look at bricks or acidity or pH or anything else. We just pick them when they taste right. And so you can create your house style and go off of that. Sauvignon Blanc also is one of those varieties that can be pushed around a lot in the winery by yeast choice and fermentation temperature and things like that. And so you can push it into the minimalist citrus and minerality expression, or you can shove it way off into tropical fruit land. I don't know what else I'd say about Niagara, except that because we're picking it on picking date, or because we're picking on flavor, you can get a really consistent style in your house if you know your vineyards.